Jumping into it here on Colts Talk presented by Prize Picks. Be sure to use code HMA. You'll get $50 in lineups when you play your first $5 lineup from our friends at Prize Picks. A breakout candidate for the Colts going into the 2026 season. Training camp coming in hot. Who should we have our eyes on to really break out and have a bigger year, maybe the best year of their career so far? ESPN's Ben Solak gave us a breakout candidate. We'll go through that player. I've got a couple of my own, plus we've got some NFL news I want to introduce to you guys so you can keep up to date with not just the Colts, but the rest of the league. Before we hear ESPN's and my breakout candidate, let's get your breakout candidate for the Colts going into the 2026 season. Who's it going to be? Give me one name in the comment section down below. All right, this is the Colts candidate that Ben Solak of ESPN listed. Again, he did every single team, player for every single team. It is fourth-year wide receiver Josh Downs. That is Solak's pick for a breakout candidate for the Colts coming up this season. Here's what he had to say about Downs. I love Downs. As the league moves to bigger players who can block, few teams still employ the classic slot receiver, but the Colts do, as 76% of Downs targets came from the slot last season. He led the league. Now with Michael Pittman Jr. gone to Pittsburgh, we remember that free agency trade, Downs will no longer be a starter solely in 3 receiver sets. He should also get plenty of snaps in 2 receiver looks alongside the recently extended Alec Pierce. Here's where it gets interesting. I'm not here to predict a full Jackson Smith-Njigba explosion from Downs as he works his way into more of a hybrid role. Downs is much shorter and lighter than JSN, but Solak adds, I do think Downs shares Smith-Njigba's fluidity as a route runner, which should open him up for deeper targets as Shane Steichen manufactures free release for him off of the line. Final note there, Downs is 111th in air yards per target among 125 high-volume wide receivers since he entered the league in 2023. If Steichen just gets him to an average depth, Downs will be in for a breakout year in production. And I think production is going to be a big part of all the guys that we discuss as breakout candidates. Look, we went through the Alec Pierce saga of money and free agency in different teams, and is he a 1A and that? And then we're also doing the Michael Pittman Jr. Do they cut him? He's been good for the Colts. They need to save money. Like, we're going through all that kind of stuff in general, right? Meanwhile, Josh Downs is just a good receiver on the roster, and we haven't talked enough about him in general. We haven't shown enough love in general. We've kind of seen what can happen if Downs can really get his touches, really get his receptions, really get the opportunity to be a great receiver and a really, I guess I don't love doing this, but like 1A, 1B, I feel like can be a 1B for this offense next to Alec Pierce in the slot for the Colts in general. And again, you look at Michael Pittman Jr. last year, Tyler Warren's going to be a big part of this offense as well in this situation. We talk Ashton Dulin, we talk Nick Westbrook-Ikine. Those guys are notable for the wide receiver group. But again, you lose Pittman's stats, Pittman's leadership, Pittman's targets. Somebody's going to step up and grab some of those. Downs absolutely could be a name that does that. And again, Solak emphasizing that. We're emphasizing it now, showing a little bit more love to Josh Downs. Josh Downs in a contract year, by the way. He enters his 4th year in the league. Look, the Colts are going to bump into a situation where a lot of guys are going to want to get paid. A lot of guys are going to be in their contract years looking to prove themselves. Downs specifically, I think, is one of those guys we're seeing early from the minicamp stuff, from the OTA stuff. Like, people have their eyes on him, right, for this upcoming season, not just because of Pittman exiting, but now you have Josh Downs looking to make more money after this season from the Colts or in free agency in general. So that was ESPN's Ben Solak's breakout candidate for the Colts going into the 2026 season. I've got a couple more names that I think are potential candidates to also have breakout season for the Colts here in just one second. But first, Colts season coming in hot, right? Season's almost back. That'll mean you guys are going to games in person. I know you have that excitement. That's why we want to give a huge shout out to the sponsor of today's video. That is SeatGeek. You got the MLB in full swing. Football is getting closer. By the way, with the World Cup going on in the United States, you can get World Cup tickets on SeatGeek right now. I love using the SeatGeek app anytime me and my friends think about going to, whether it be a Colts game, a concert, any other sporting event. We throw the SeatGeek link to the app in our group chat. Next thing you know, we're checking out tickets. It's always the app I recommend because SeatGeek has your back Each ticket is rated on a scale of 1 to 10, so you know you're getting a good deal. Also, you can just look for green dots. If you see green, green means good. If you see red dots, red means bad. And, of course, I've got a code for you guys today to take advantage of, whether you're a new or existing user. You can use code CHAT10 for 10% off your next set of tickets at SeatGeek. That's 10% off any tickets with promo code CHAT10. One more time, CHAT10. Make sure you click the link in the description to download the app, because that'll have the code automatically added to your account so you can use it later. Thanks, SeatGeek. Phillies breakout candidates for the Colts. We saw Ben Solak and Josh Downs. I don't disagree with Josh Downs. I absolutely could see that being a breakout candidate. Laiatu Latu, the edge rusher. And if you watch Colts Talk, we talked about him plenty, and we continue to talk about him. I will note, we just recently we talked about Sauce and Jonathan Taylor on the top 10 list. We continue to get top 10 lists from ESPN. They surveyed executives, coaches, scouts, so it's not just ESPN. They did the edge rusher position. Now, Latu was not in the top 10 edge rushers in the NFL, right? I don't think any of us thought he was a top 10 edge rusher or pass rusher in the NFL, but he did get votes from people to be in that top 10. So, scouts, executives, they feel a breakout season could be coming for the Colts edge rusher. We've conveyed, Latu's hopes, Anarumo's hopes, Steichen's given good quotes. We talked a lot about these guys. And Latu specifically on the defense and what he could bring next season. From one edge rusher to another, our guy Jaylahn Tuimoloau, he's beginning to use his first name, by the way, so we're going to try and transition a little bit here on the show to using it. Now, this is a curious case and an interesting case for a former second-round pick, right? I also host our Ohio State football show here at Chat Sports. I can tell you, Jaylahn Tuimoloau has some huge moments, can do some awesome things, can really show up in big games. However, the consistency was not there at Ohio State. He was one of their highest recruits ever that they landed, and I think they wanted more, constantly, wanting more, wanting consistency, wanting to be better. I think the Colts are in the same position. Now, we're 1 year in, right? He's getting adjusted to the NFL. He's getting adjusted to size. I know he's given some quotes about, being able to slim down a little bit and use that to his ability and kind of going with his size. But look, my big thing for JT is meet the expectations here, right? You're a second-round pick from Ohio State, national champion. The Colts clearly believe you have the skills to do it. Get out there, go out there, and do it. I predict JT is going to be one of the top edge rushers for this team. Should get a good shot to improve next season. Let's do this. Who's going to have a better 2026 as an edge rusher? Laiatu Latu, type L, or Jaylahn Tuimoloau, type J. L or J. This would be a good L if you're feeling for Latu there, but let us know down below. Ashton Dulin, another breakout candidate. This might be the least surprising name on this list, right? I mean, again, if you watch Colts Talk, we've been, categorizing and making sure you know everything that's happened with Ashton Dulin, which has been an extremely impressive showing in OTAs and minicamp, right? It's touchdowns over Sauce Gardner. It's touchdowns over other players. It's multiple touchdowns in a row. Just Dulin seizing the opportunity with a position opposite Alec Pierce open at this point in time. Dulin's getting out there. Dulin's making plays, and I think it's a good look both for the Colts that he's finally progressing to this point, and Dulin we know is very, very excited to take advantage of this opportunity. So if he can get on the field more, which seems like he's at the least earning more playing time, let alone a starting spot, absolutely Ashton Dulin could be a breakout candidate. Jalen Travis got to start a few games in 2025. He now is expected to be the starting right tackle in 2026 for the Indianapolis Colts. Look, when we talk about breakout candidates doing more, showing more, simple. You get the opportunity to start more games, play more games, be there on the offensive line. You have the opportunity to break out. He is the expected starter right now. There's really not much competition with Travis and the right tackle position. So this one's just a little bit of do the math. Wasn't a starter, got into that spot a little bit, now will be a starter. I think absolutely Jalen Travis could end up being a very impressive breakout candidate for the Indianapolis Colts in 2026. So be sure to keep an eye on that one. Before we continue with today's show, I have a huge favor to ask. Here's our Prize Picks leaderboard with myself and producer AP compared to some of the biggest channels here at Chat Sports, our Raiders channel, Giants, Eagles, Niners. You can see how many followers these hosts have on the Prize Picks app. We tell you all the time, you can follow me and producer AP on the app. And when you do that, not only will our followers go up, but you'll be able to see the lineups we're putting in daily and take advantage of them before we even show them on the show. Or if you just like a lineup, you can copy it real easy. Big years for Joe Burrow, Dak Prescott, and CeeDee Lamb. This is like an in-office lineup we all like here. It's Burrow's passing yards, CeeDee Lamb's receiving yards, and Dak Prescott's passing yards. Season-long lineup. We went more on all those guys there. Plus, right now on PrizePicks, we have a new user offer for you guys. All you have to do, download the PrizePicks app today with the link in the comment section and description. Then use code HMA. That'll get you $50 in lineups. After you play your first $5 lineup, that code is HMA. HMA. It'll get you $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. We've got it in the comment section and description for you. On PrizePicks, it's good to be right. Before we finish today's show, we did get some updated NFL schedule info. This isn't specific to the Colts, but will matter to the Colts. A few dates to note coming up here. Adam Schefter, great job by him. Got it organized pretty nicely. Cut down day with all rosters required to be at 53 players. You can mark that August 30th as we get through training camp and into those ones. The trade deadline for the NFL, November 10th. The Super Bowl at SoFi, February 14th there. Then an interesting one. This is the one I really wanted to note here. It will be extremely chaotic when we go from the scouting combine in Indy from March 1st to March 8th immediately into free agency. Unbelievable transition there. And you guys know how hard we work here at Chat Sports to cover all that. So we'll be working hard on Colts Talk to bring you combine coverage, everything you need there. Your favorite, college players, will have it on our main channel. And then we'll immediately go into free agency with that one. So that one's going to be wild. And some other dates, owners meeting, draft, and whatnot. So Shefty updating us there with some NFL dates in general. Anything Indianapolis Colts? Why aren't you subscribed? If you're a true Colts fan, if you really do love the Colts, hit that sub button right now.